Hey guys, welcome back to the show, welcome back to the diary. So, I am going to do a big little bit on my defense of one of my most loved actors out there going, John Barrowman, as you may have seen in the video title, In Defense of John Barrowman. So yes, let's get this going, guys. I know it's been a while and I'm sorry about that. I've just had a massive lull in video inspiration and video ideas, and obviously I don't want to go throwing out random stupid content, because looking at my video analytics, throwing out random stupid content isn't worth doing, as it is for every YouTuber going. So yes, John Barrowman recently has been under fire for tomfoolery of the sexual nature on sets of Doctor Who and Torchwood. Now, for those of you who don't know, John Barrowman is a very out there person. He likes to have a play about, he likes to joke around, and occasionally show off his butt. Now, most of the time, especially these days, his butt is clothed, and this is my biggest point in this video. He has learned from his lesson. Now, I don't personally know, because I wasn't there, whether he did reveal his penis, in particular on the set, or anything like that, because that is what he's being accused of right now. He's been accused of constantly exposing his penis to cast and crew on sets of Doctor Who and Torchwood. And I just want to say, while that is naughty and wrong of John, naughty boy, he has obviously learned his lesson in the years of doing Torchwood. We're talking way back in 2008 and before. This is between the years of 2000 and 2008 this sort of thing happened. And I mean, granted, I believe John's now in his 50s, but everybody has this stage in their life where between the ages of 16 to 20, normally around the 25, 26 sort of age, people tend to grow out this, but it feels like John's taking a little bit longer to grow out this. Everybody's young, stupid, and a little bit childish during those times. It just looks like John's taking a little bit longer to grow out that, and that's okay, that's fine. People do that. People have a different way of growing out behaviour like that, and while behaviour like that is unacceptable and not right, and John's admitted that behaviour is not right and everything, and he's actually turned around and said that since that incident, my behaviour and understanding of that has changed. Because back in the day, in those early 2000s, things like that, while they were still seen as sexually inappropriate and other things, it was just seen as a bit of fun, a bit of joke, a bit of banter and everything like that. The idea of banter is changing. We can basically teach our kids, or not that you should, but we are essentially teaching kids that bullying is turning into banter. So when kids hit other kids, they'll turn around and go, oh, it's just banter, miss. Oh, it's just banter, sir. Mum, Dad, we were just having some banter. It's nothing. It's fine. And it's the particular behaviour and the particular belief of banter and everything that needs to be addressed, because we cannot let kids hit each other or expose themselves to each other and say it's banter, because it's exposing like that is not banter. It's still sexual behaviour and it's still sexually inappropriate. But like I said, in John's defence, back then, it was, while, like I say, it was still sexually inappropriate. It was seen as part of the banter and the joke kind of side of things and the messing around. And obviously, like I said, back then, because it looks like John's taken a bit longer to sort of grow up in some level of maturity and everything like that, the line he saw was a bit greyed, and now his line has become a lot blacker and a lot thicker. John knows now from that experience that that's unacceptable behaviour. And while I totally agree and understand with BBC's stance on it, in the sense of John needs to... BBC are basically saying, we cannot endorse this behaviour. We cannot be seen to be showing off this celebrity on our network with this kind of behaviour in the history, because BBC is ultimately a family-orientated network. So to have someone who has done sexually inappropriate things show on a family-orientated, possibly in front of kids, network, it's... The reason they're doing it is because the message that says is sexually inappropriate things are okay. Kids, go and expose yourself. And that's not what we want to be teaching. So I understand where the BBC are coming from. It's just a little bit mean to not have been dealing with it back then. This needed to be dealt with back then, not now. I'm seeing what... I mean, I might not even be picking up on the right thing here, but I'm seeing something with this, with the whole Johnny Depp side. Now, Johnny Depp's been accused of beating up his wife and doing other things. Now, I don't want to say that his wife's lying, because if he genuinely did, then she needs to be listened to and heard and believed. But looking at the way that Johnny Depp is in the interviews about this, I can kind of see where he's coming from. It doesn't, to me, something about it just doesn't feel right. Like, we as a society are taught not to bash celebrities, because I mean, celebrity complex isn't really the right term here, but it's just basically the whole, we cannot have a go at celebrities because they're the brightness of the universe or the brightness of the world, and that a celebrity cannot do anything wrong, and if you say anything against a celebrity, you're in the wrong, and you're just doing it for the money, or you're just doing it to get attention. Because the minute you start having a go at or about a celebrity, you're then exploded into the public eye and splattered across media, and the celebrity is splattered across the media. And any kind of bad allegation like this that isn't true, whether it is true or whether it's not, if it's not true, you're then jeopardizing that celebrity's future, work, and even life by spreading a possible lie just for a few minutes of fame. And there are other ways of getting famous. If people are doing this just to get famous, then there are other ways of doing it. Just go on not Celebrity Big Brother, but go on Big Brother, go on some of the other reality TV shows out there. You can have your 5 minutes of fame by doing that. Just bashing and having a go at a celebrity is not fair. This is why I was saying this with John Barrowman needed to be dealt with back then, because given the fact that he has stated that he's learned his lesson, and he has shown within the past 10 years of his work, and whenever he's been on screen and in the media's attention, he has shown that he's learned his lesson. Because, like I said, even though he does still show off his butt, and he does still engage in that kind of tomfoolery, he is still always clothed. He is not always whipping out his penis for anything and everything anymore. He has learned not to do stuff like that, because that is not how A, an actor should be, and B, how a person should be around each other. People learn things like this at different rates and different times. So we need to be understanding of that. And yes, like I said, BBC are understandable in their choice and their possibility of what they're going to be doing, because currently, being a Dancing on Ice judge, John Barrowman is facing possibilities of being kicked off that show because of these allegations and this issue. And like I said, that's understandable, but it's not fair that it's being dealt with now. Why is it being dragged up now? Why was it not dealt with back then when it actually happened? Because I think if it was truly properly dealt with, because from reading a lot of the articles about it, it was sort of dealt with back then, but if it was dealt with properly back then, like it is now, in the sense of, right, okay, what we're going to do is we're going to say that for 5 years. For 5 years, you're not going to be able to be on any kind of family-orientated channel or any family-orientated network for 5 years because of this. John probably would have taken that and gone, alright, fine, I deserve it. I did something stupid. I get you. He would have gone through that adult stuff and just been like, I don't like this anymore. I don't like this side of me anymore. This, as fun as that is, I prefer doing that. And it's just that in particular. I believe he would have still learned his lesson like he has done anyway, but he would have learned it in the way that meant that if it did get dragged up now like it has already, that the BBC can turn around then and say, right, well, we gave him 5 years of not being on a family-orientated network, or his agent turned around and said that he's not letting John do anything that's family-orientated by whatever court law was given or something. They would have been able to say, well, he's had his punishment. Why are we going over this again? He's had his punishment. He's obviously learned. So we're going to write a statement that we do not condone any of this kind of behaviour. We haven't seen any of this kind of behaviour from John since his 5-year gap or something like that. They could turn around and be like, well, he's faced his punishment. What more can we do? We've given him a punishment. He's taken it and he's learned. I know I'm not necessarily saying much about proper defence, but I'm not trying to say that what John did was a good idea or what John did was right, because, like I said, it is still sexually inappropriate to do stuff like that. But he has clearly learned his lesson, so why are we still dragging this up? There are dates to this, and the statements say November 2008 is when he apologised for this behaviour, and he's turned around and said in November 2008 that his ideas of things like that and his level of understanding of things like that has changed. So he's obviously no longer doing it because he's grown up. He needs a chance to prove yet again that he has changed and that he is different, and he needs to be given some level of I can't remember the word now. Some level of I'll just use it as he needs to be given a bit of leash at the moment, because he needs that chance and that support to prove that he genuinely has changed and that he genuinely isn't doing stuff like that anymore. But like I said, the BBC is completely understandable with where they're going, and I don't think the BBC should budge on their rule of, we're a family-orientated network, so we can't endorse this behaviour. They shouldn't budge on that, because that's their rule. Everyone needs to abide by that rule. Everyone needs to be held accountable to that rule if they are either engaging in behaviour like that, or they have engaged in behaviour like that, or anything like that. So the BBC are fine in that sense. But the BBC also need to understand and make a statement that John has learned and that John understands that this isn't right and that he shouldn't have done something like that. But we shouldn't really be dragging it up. This is past behaviour, not current behaviour. So, like I said, while the BBC are understandable in their choice to think about going ahead and taking John off the roll of stuff, it's not fair that they're doing this now. This is, like I said, this is past behaviour. And if there's no evidence of same behaviour within the time frame of when this did happen and now, what? I'm struggling to understand what the major deal is here. Yes, it needs to be addressed. Yes, it needs to be looked at and discussed and sorted out. Because yes, these are allegations, and yes, they're probably true. And yes, John himself has admitted that he did something like that. But like I said, he labelled it as tomfoolery, so it puts my mind to he's still somewhat childish at that time, or he was still somewhat childish at that time, and loads of people take longer to grow out of that childish nature. And I want to say it's normal, but it's not as normal as it can be. It's not normal as, say, brushing your teeth. But there are people out there that do take longer to grow out and stuff like that, and we need to make sure that we're giving people enough leeway, that was the word I was looking for earlier, enough leeway to prove that they are different, that they are growing up, or that they do understand better, so that they can show that they're behaving better, and that they can show that they learn from their mistakes. If we don't let people make mistakes like this, and treat it properly and deal with it properly, people are never going to learn why it's wrong or what's wrong about it, and they're just going to carry on doing it. But it looks like John Barrowman has learned from it, and I think dragging it back up now and giving him the punishments now isn't very fair. Because now we're looking at this actor that's created this, well, not created, but has helped to create this wonderful character that just appeals to everybody, and this unapologetic character that shows people that it's okay to feel alright about yourself. It's okay to be like, I'm this, I'm that, I'm whatever I am. You take me, or you don't take me. I don't care what you do. I am who I am. And that statement of I am who I am has been going for years, and we don't punish anyone else for it. We don't punish everybody for being the way they are, because that's not fair. We cannot be in a society that allows people to be who they are if we're punishing them for being them being who they are. Which is why, again, I say that there are lines in this, and which is why John has turned around and said that his line has gotten thicker and darker in terms of, right, that's not acceptable behaviour, I shall stop that. It's the fact. There are celebrities out there that are not willing to admit that what they did is wrong and that they were just messing around and they don't see the problem. But in John's defence, he has agreed what he did was wrong, and he has decided to change his behaviour. So why are we still bringing this up? Why are we again now trying to punish him for something he's already turned around and said he understands is wrong, and that he's already actively made the changes to stop doing what it was he was doing? If that all makes any sense to you, hit the like button down below and give me a comment on what you think. Do you agree that the BBC is completely understandable in their choice to look into taking John off the judges list of Dancing on Ice, or do you agree with me that while they might be within their rights to do that, it's entirely and completely unfair that this is being done now of all times? But no, that's it for me today, guys. I will hopefully see you soon. Now, I have a few ideas in mind. I just don't know how to put them down into video form, and I'm hoping to try something new pretty soon if I can work out ways of doing it. But you should be able to see a bit more of my acting talents. But no, that's it for me today, guys. I will see you soon. See ya. Put a little bit of shit, put a little bit of shit, put a little bit of shit.